£50,000 going once, £50,000 going twice, a 50,000 but a 52,
Ooh.
54, 56,
There's always
58, 60.
Oh,
62,000. That's 62,000. I'll take 1,000 if it helps. That's 62,000. That's 62. That's 62,000 bids to my right. That's 62,000. That's 62,000. I call it in again. It's 62,000 pounds going once. 62,000 pounds going twice. 62,000 a third and final time. Are we all done at 62?
Yes! Woohoo! I can't see. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. Welcome to the show. I've got this really bright light in my face, and sadly, it means I can't see the screen. I can't do anything, but you can't see me if I turn it off. So hey. You win some, you lose some. Well, we've got a full show for you today. As you can see, there's three pretty faces sitting in front of you today. In the middle, we have the wonderful Tara, who's going to talk to us more about that amazing result that we had in Bridgewater last Thursday. And over to the right is the wonderful Jeff, who just for once isn't being run ragged by his employers and expected to drive 800 miles in 4.5 hours. How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you, Tara?
Oh, great. Yeah, great. Really glad to be here. Thank you.
Who we got in, Jeff? Because these comments seem to be taking off already.
We have the Wandering Ponder, who the station master seems to be talking off the ledge. Well, of course, we have Station Master with us. And we have Roland Bear is with us.
Well, hey, Roland.
We have Sweet the Cat. Hi, everyone. I'm here, but the 4-year-old is still up. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no, not the 4-year-old. Oh, dear. That's the end of the world. So we got a few people in already. That's good. Well, tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure many of you have seen the wonderful Tara before because she came 2 weeks ago before the auction. Was a nervous little thing because they didn't know what was happening and they didn't know where it was going to go. But we went to an auction last Thursday. Tara, talk to us about the auction because it was amazing.
It was totally incredible. I was thinking about it earlier today and thinking when we walked into the auction, I was trying my best to be optimistic and feeling like I've just got to be positive, and being positive will help us get through this. But I was also really aware that it could go up so much higher than we had, like 5, 6, 7 times the guide price.
I mean, what happened? Explain what happened. We sat there, and I think there was 32 bids altogether. We were sort of from bid 21 onwards. So before us, there were other bits of land going in Glastonbury, and they were all, going up and down. Some didn't sell, some did sell. And then they started on Wilf's plots. And the first one, they seemed to be using, and I've never seen this done before, they were using the reserve price as they were using the guide price as a reserve. If it didn't meet the guide price, they weren't selling. And I've never seen that done before. Normally the guide price is just a starting point and it can go down or up from there. But anyway, the first one didn't meet the guide price. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? Oh.
The station master says, I think the auctioneer was in league with someone the way he held out so long at 50 grand. I smelt a rat.
He did. I noticed that. Normally it's going once, going twice. Bam. He was going once, going twice. Is anybody else interested? I can make 1,000 if you like. But anyway, the next one went under the hammer, and it had a guide price of about 40 or 50,000 pounds. It wasn't a lot, and it went up, and it went up, and it went up over 100,000 pounds, wasn't it? In the end, Tara,
it went from 70 to 217,000.
There you go. And that was the next bid after the one that failed. And then the next several went way above.
One of them went 7 times the guide price.
Yeah, 7 times.
I'm convinced that I haven't lived my life right, because no lawyer has ever knocked on my door and said, by the way, you have a long lost uncle that you've never met, and he owns about 16 plots of land, and you're going to be very wealthy.
Yeah, that's happened, isn't it?
Maybe next year it will happen.
Maybe. But anyway.
We were number 26, and so for 25 lots before us, we just sat there watching how much higher it could go, and it was hard to keep optimistic as we were seeing some of the prices.
And then, of course, sorry.
And then it was like the tension was so high, and people, they were bidding against each other, and it was like some kind of battle. And then it got to our lot, and I was like, okay, this is our moment of truth.
And the first thing he said was, there's a lot of interest in this, didn't he? I thought, oh, no.
Yeah. And then just suddenly everything just went like calm, and it was hardly...
And everybody stopped bidding.
Everybody bidding against us.
Yeah.
And
nobody bid against us. I mean, we would have won it for the guide price, wouldn't we? Or £2,000 over the guide price. And then he did once, twice, blah, 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 and delayed. And then these other idiots, it was 2 farmer boys, 2 thick, cider drinking farmer boys. And I'm sure it was nothing more than spite. We're not having them hippies.
I'm not sure. I really don't know. They could have been family for all I knew, but they weren't even trying. If they'd wanted to, I'm sure they could have outbid us. It felt more like they were just...
It was a spiteful thing to bugger us up.
Well, to be honest, I was just so astounded how little opposition we had, really, that even what their bids, it felt like they were just knocking it up a little bit, but that they really were not trying to outbid us, because if they were trying, they could have really outbid us. It was totally incredible. And from the moment we walked into the auctioneers and started registration, and I was quite nervous, I was amazed how many people came up and were supportive and encouraging. And several of the people were people that had known Wilf all their lives, and had a lot of love and respect, and definitely wanted his land to be passed over to people that would take care of it.
And not only that, I think his name will live on. None of the other buyers are going to keep Wilf's name alive. Only us.
I mean, I can't really speak for the other buyers, but I can say that the support that we had from people that said, yeah, we support you, and it was such an honor, and to have their trust and them hand that over to us. And I'm sure there are people that would have bid on that piece of land if it wasn't for the fact that we were bidding, so they stepped back from bidding on it. And it was incredibly overwhelming and humbling to see that and to be there in that auction. Like, I know there were a few people that bid against us, but really there could have been a lot more bidding against us.
I think Jeff's trying to come in. Jeff, what's happening in the comments, buddy?
Andrew says, well done, Tara, on your success.
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
And Station Master says, good to see Jeff again. Sweet the Cat says, hey, Jeff, we missed you. We have Laura with us. Laura is on here tonight.
My daughter. Hello, Lars. How you doing, sweetheart? My beautiful daughter. I went out for a night with her on Saturday. It was brilliant.
We have Andrew Graham here tonight. And we have... man, just jumped all of a sudden. Ed Hasseltine is with us tonight. Good to see you again, Ed. Glad you're here. Let's see. Oh, we have Jackie with us. Good evening, Gabriel, Tara, and Jeff. Good to see you all. We have Tracy Murphy, one of my favorite people on the entire planet, with us tonight.
Hey, Tracy.
Brilliant.
And Abigail is with us. Oh, good to see you, Abigail.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
We have Kathy with us tonight. Let's see. Laura says, just wanted to say hi, Dad, Uncle Jeff, and hi, Tara. Great news on the auction.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Laura. That was very nice of you. Thank you very much. I was going to ask a question and it's gone away. Yes, talking about £10, I have a crisp £10 note here. And this is a question for you, Tara. One of my viewers, I bumped into him in the high street, a guy called Barry, he's from Weston-super-Mare, lovely guy. He used to be involved in the unions and he's, spot on, this guy. And he wanted to give something to you guys, but wasn't sure how to go about it. So the question is, now that you've bought the land, are you still accepting donations or contributions? Where do we stand with this, or should I give it to another cause?
Oh, bless you. What was his name?
This is Barry. Barry might show up tonight.
Thank you, Barry. Well, we've got a lot of work to do, so it's gonna take quite a lot of expenses. So any donations are very warmly received, and anybody who would like to donate, they can email us at Friends of St Edmund's Well, or one word, no punctuation.
I'll put it in the comments.
At gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we can send bank details. I think the crowdfunder either is going down today or has gone down today. So today is the last day of the crowdfunder. And it's quite incredible because we didn't plan it, but today is also Wilf's birthday. So it's very serendipitous that today.
How old would he have been?
Good question.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I was watching a little documentary on him, and none of them said how old he was, but he did say that his birthday was on the 1st of October. I would guess he was probably in his 70s, but he's one of these timeless people. He could have been
in his 80s.
He could have even been in his 90s. I don't think he was in his 90s, but he was timeless, really. So we've now have brought in enough funding, I believe, to buy the land. I think all the money that we had, because the money we had was loans and grants. So I believe that in grants alone, we brought in the funding for buying the land, but there's a lot of expenses coming up for planting the trees, for the gates, for the water, for all different expenses that catching up with management that's been left for a year with all the brambles and everything. So any help towards that is very, very warmly received.
Yeah, Gabriel and I are gonna work up a little something between the two of us.
Yeah, we are.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because I personally, I was actually at the auction and I had access to some of my savings. So, had it been dire straits, I'd have leaned across and go, add another 20, so.
It's so incredible. We had a lady who came into the auction and said she'd come specially just to tell me if we needed it. She had an extra 1,000. And I think the night before the auction, or 2 nights before the auction, I got a phone call from someone I don't know. And he said, I went to school with Wilf and I just really want to see it protected. And I'd like to put some money towards it. And I've grown up with orchards. My family had orchards for generations, and I'd like to help with it. And it's just that kind of support is breathtaking and incredible.
Well, Will was a love guy. I mean, Will was a completely unique character in Glastonbury, because even popular people, you'll find someone saying, I was a complete arsehole. Nobody had a bad word to say against Will. Not one, ever. I've never heard anybody say a bad word against him.
I was terrified of him
You were young.
So when I was really small, my brother and I hopped over the fence at the end of the garden into his orchard, and he chased us out with a stick. I'm not sure how big the stick is, because in my memory it got bigger and bigger till it was like the size of a tree trunk. And my brother told me his dogs were wolves and they were going to eat me, and I was pretty terrified. But as I grew older and teenager, and then I'd meet him and talk to him, and I really grew to love him and appreciate him. But when I was small, I was definitely terrified of him.
Andrew Norris says, "Hey Gabe, what happened about the special video we filmed in London?"
I haven't put it out yet. I mean, I've just got to get it out. I've got more films to put out. I've got a string of films to do, and that is one of them. I have been good. I have been putting out a lot of films lately, and I'm catching
Andrew,
up.
I know Gabe told me that your catalog was in the box that he sent. It's at my house. It's waiting for me when I go home. Isn't that what you told me, Gabriel? It is in the box?
Do that thing. Everything of yours was in that box in the cupboard, and it all got put in your box. Somewhere I've got a list of everything because I sent it to the thing. So,
let's see. Emma's with us tonight. I hope you're feeling better, Emma. Emma had a time when she was a little blue, but I hope you're feeling better now. And what happened to the Ponderer?
Did he come? Too much talk in one go.
I don't know. Did he burn himself out? You know, the Ponderer. You talk about somebody who's had a very, very busy month. He has had a very busy time. Poor old Ponderer.
Yeah, poor old Ponderer. Anything else in there, Jeff?
The Ponderer says no.
Well, I had a great weekend last weekend because we had the Knights running round the tour. I don't know if anybody's seen the video, but we had 3 men, grown men, dressed as knights, climbing the tour 3 times and coming back down 3 times. And I went up and filmed it. It was a great day out. The armour was provided by Terry English, who was there. If anybody's a bit of a film buff, you may know who Terry English is. Terry English was the armourer to many, many films. He's been in the film industry for more decades than most people on here have been alive. And I believe it's about 40 A-list films he's worked on, including things like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. I mean, anyway, this armour was from films that he'd worked on, and these guys use it for that. And we also had a giant can opener from a film back in the 80s. It was about 4 foot tall can opener. So we got people chasing these knights around, but it was really good. They raised a lot of money, over £8,000, and it's going to the Children's Hospice Southwest.
And it was amazing. That is amazing. 3 guys could go and do that and raise that much money for a children's hospital. That is amazing.
Yeah, and it gets even better because it's not a hospital, it's a hospice. These kiddies ain't coming out. They're going there. It's a one-way trip. And John was saying, one of the guys, he said, the hardest thing isn't the organising. It isn't even climbing up and down this bloody hill in armour. He says the hardest thing is when we take that money and we go to that hospital to give them the money and we meet the kids and the parents. What do you say? Do you know, I just admire them for raising that money. I really do. We've got one of their charity shops in town, and the guy who runs it actually came out to thank them for what they were doing. So yes, and you know, these people, they quietly do this work with these families and the kids behind closed doors, and you never see what goes on. But you know, can you imagine the heartbreak and everything that goes on? It's just horrible. With kids, particularly, bad enough with older people, but with kids, you know, kids and cats. Sorry?
Do these walks around the country?
No. I mean, it's John Mason from Rose Gallery and local guys. They're all local. It's incredible. It's incredible. And they're a complete bunch of nutters. And you couldn't find 3 nicer guys to go up the tour in armour. And they're brilliant. So they are still accepting money because they're not taking their money into the hospital for a while yet. And that's where I was going to put this if you couldn't have used it. But I'm gonna chip in something as well, because I just think, you know, these hospices. Hello, Poppy. These hospices, they do the work, and you know, it's just incredible. It's like firemen and all these people who do these things that we take for granted, but without them, where'd we be? You know, it's sad that we have to raise money through running up and down the tour dressed in armour to support them, but it's good that people. It's good that people do that. Excuse me, I've got a cat's arse in my face. Poppy.
Well, you've acquired a friend there, Gabe.
Yes, unfortunately, it's the wrong end. Poppy, this end. Good girl, thank you. That's better.
I once watched Patch Adams. Do either of you know Patch Adams?
I've heard the name.
It's a film with Robin Williams as the main actor, but he's also based on a character who's a real person in America who's a doctor, and apparently he changed the way that people dealt with patients, and particularly children, in hospitals and hospices. And one of the things that really stuck in my mind is he said, when you're treating the person, no, when you're treating the disease, you either win or lose. Either the disease wins or you win. But when you're treating the person, you always win, because even if it's a few extra hours, a few extra days, when you're doing things that will bring them positive quality of life for however long that is, then it's always a win. And doing things like raising money for the hospices is doing that. It's trying to bring happiness and well-being to people who, it might be hours, it might be days, it might be months, who knows, but it's bringing something that's very special and needed.
So some people, that's just how they're wired. I said to Ponderer one day, Ponderer and I were talking, he has a Ball watch. It's a Ball 999B, which is, if it isn't the finest watch ever made, it's only because it's on par with the Illinois 60 hour. Anyway, we were talking about it, and we were talking about the factory where they built it. And I said, well, it's a parking lot for a hospital, children's hospital now. And the first thing he said was, I said, it's a shame you can't visit it. And he said, if I did, I would put on a show. Because, you know, he's a magician. So, you know, that's just how some people are wired.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, he's part of the Magic Circle, or he's involved in the Magic Circle. The Magic Circle have a place in London. It's their headquarters. It's like Magician Central. And they started opening up to the public. It ain't cheap, but I'm thinking that might make an interesting video. Anyway, that's an aside. Jeff, tell us about your life, because in 23 days you will no longer be a truck driver, will you? What's going on in your world?
Let me catch up on a couple of things really quick. Let's see. Abigail says, Tara, I'm glad you were successful in keeping the land. And Emma says, glad to hear you won Wilf's land.
Thank you.
Because Emma's in town.
This is day 23. I have 23 days left, and I will be going home for good.
And we can't wait, because this poor man, he's run ragged by his company he's working for. They'll give him a 1,000-mile run and give him 2 days to do it in, and expect him to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning on day 3. It's been loads and loads of that going on. And so retirement can't come a day too soon, can it, my bro? It's been very difficult. The first 10 years, I would have said it was the greatest job on the planet. And they had a manager, and he died. And it's just gone downhill since then. It's just horrible now. But now, what that means in 23 days' time, this man will be able to go fishing. He'll be able to go gold panning. He'll be able to drive down to California in his beautiful RV. He can do what he wants. And we can't wait, can we, bro? It's going to be good. Yeah, you remember I said when I was home and I drove by the Lemon Glass factory, and I said that where they build, that's in Woodland. That's where they build really nice rods. I think I even sent you a picture of it. I got to admit, I called them today.
And I said, I really need a new fishing rod for salmon and steelhead. So,
Oh, good. Because that's
They're-
my retirement present for Jeff. This
they're
rod.
they're building it right now.
Does
Good
that
man.
mean do you go to beautiful places when you go fishing?
Oh, and some.
Yeah, there's a waterfall. It's down by Centralia. Oh my goodness! I'll send a picture to Gabriel and I'll have him show you. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, you'd think it was from that Elf movie. What was that movie called? The one they filmed in New Zealand.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord
Yes.
of the Rings was down there.
Yes.
The Elf movie. That's the one. Yeah. It's like that. I mean, it's stunning. It's stunning. I mean, you've seen these pictures of the hills with all the pine trees and the bears running around and waterfalls.
That's my head.
That's like one of those movies I never saw. I never saw that one. I never saw any of the movies that had the blue monkeys in them. What was that? Was that Avatar? Is that what it was? Yeah, Avatar. I never saw any of them.
That's all right. The blue monkeys. But no, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And, no one I can think of deserves retirement more than this guy. I mean, he's worked hard and now he's going to play hard, aren't you, bro?
I'm going to try. If I can hobble around and do it, it's going to get done.
Absolutely. And some. What's Laura saying? I've just seen Laura there.
Laura says, this is the first time I have actually been notified of a live video on the channel. Just wondering if others had notification come through. YouTube seems a tad inconsistent.
Normally they do. When I set it up in StreamYard, and then I hit the schedule, and it just does it, and it sends everything out. YouTube does it, I think. But yeah, it does go out. It should go out.
So, Tara, now that we've established that you're this amazing magician that pulled this thing off that no one ever thought possible, what's the next step?
Well, firstly, there's no one amazing magician in this. This is a massive teamwork, and it's a massive example of how teamwork can happen amongst a lot of diverse people. And the first thing I'd just like to say from all of us, that's the people that you never see their faces, but who are back at the background, the backbones of this whole process. That's the people whose faces
boys and girls.
on social media. It's the people that had that conversation with that person at that right moment. From all of us, thank you so much to everybody that's been part of making this possible. And I just don't have words really. And that's even thank you to all them people in the auction house who stepped back, and they might have liked to bid on a very nice orchard. That's even the people that did raise the price up higher, but they didn't raise it nearly as high as they probably could have, who stepped back as well. And just thank you to everyone. And so at the moment, we still don't officially own it because there's a month process with the solicitors just passing it over.
Oh, they've got to make some money out of it. Of course, they have the money grabbing bastards.
So there's this period, and definitely the core members of the team, we've had quite a huge push, like quite a lot of sleepless nights. So there is a place where we're just catching up with the other moments of our life that were just put on hold while we got to this point, and just having a moment to breathe and to appreciate and to just take in the fact that we succeeded. A year ago we started something. It didn't look like it was, we didn't know how we were going to get through it. We didn't know if we'd have all the skills or connections we needed, and somehow through everything that was done, we got here, and it's incredible. And we've got a few upcoming meetings to work out our next steps and how we go about it. But the core point that has been the core point from the very beginning is that we want to keep this as a wildlife haven and to regenerate the orchards and use indigenous heritage fruit varieties. And so, and
I'll just interrupt you a minute. We'll come back and we'll unpack that afterwards. That's very interesting, but I've just got to do something.
If you know him, you love him, and we got to keep him around.
Absolutely. Fabulous. Absolutely. This light is doing my head in. I can't see a single thing. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm blinded by this damn light.
It's a shame that you didn't take a college class that explained to you about bouncing light off the ceiling. And it's a shame. Were you asleep? Did you sleep through that class? What explain you?
I haven't got a light powerful enough here to bounce it. This is a direct light. It's a fill-in light. I haven't got any big lights that I can bounce, and I know all about lighting. I just haven't got the equipment to do it.
Those that would like to sponsor Tales from the Tour, you might be in need of some special lighting quite soon.
I mean, if I show you what I'm using, look, this is what I'm using, and this is how small they are. Look, I'll turn it round so you can see it in my hand. It's tiny, and that has to light me completely. So I could do with a nice big softbox that I could have over here, and it would light me. I will get one sorted out. But for now, I'm just going to be blinded by this thing and keep doing that so I can see the damn screen. Anyway,
sure enough people that love what you do that would like to chip in towards that, I'm sure.
I'm sure they would. In fact, Laura just did already this evening. She gave us a super chat for £10, which is great. Thank you, Laura. Really nice of you. So before we carry on, because I want to unpack what you were talking about what's going to go on there. Jeff, any comments? What's going on?
Abigail says, Jeff, enjoy your retirement. Jeff will sleep when he wants as well, and no need to drive. Ed Hasseltine says, that's great, Jeff. I can't wait for the last time I have to drive a bus, but it's still over 10 years away. Let's see, Emma. Jackie says, hang in there, Jeff, counting down the days, not long to go. Station Master says, I had 30 years driving buses and coaches. Don't really miss the work because it changed so much, but I miss the workmates. Tracy Murphy says, enjoy your retirement, Jeff. I will, Tracy. I will enjoy my retirement. I will.
Because you see, the other thing is living in what is basically a fiberglass box 7 days a week. Jeff doesn't have workmates. You're on your own in that truck all day long, 7 days a week. The only people you talk to are the loading bay ops, isn't it? And the people serving you dinner.
I have a pretty amazing fiberglass box at home.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. Wait till you see. We're going to do, when Jeff has retired, we're going to do a video tour 1 week on the show. And Jeff's going to show us his facilities. Because this thing, if I tell you, the chassis it's built on is from a Greyhound bus. That gives you an idea. This ain't a small little full transit conversion we're talking about here. This is a full-blown yeehaw RV.
Not for little English country roads.
No.
It would get hung up pretty quick going under something, I'm sure.
Very good.
Let's see. Station Master says, my company, Eastbourne Buses, was taken over by Stagecoach after I retired. I am not going to say what I think about them. I think we figured that out. Ed Hasseltine says, yes, not one driver who knows what it's like in management. They all come from university and they sit in front of a computer. Yes, there's no one in the office where I work that's ever driven a truck. They call me all the time. I'm at home and they call me and they say, you know that place we go to, that farm chemical place up by the Canadian border? Yeah. Can you be up there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock? No. Well, why not? It's only 160 miles. It's 160 miles on the other side of Seattle. It takes 4.5 hours to get through Seattle by itself.
I think you're talking about these guys. I don't think any of them have been to university either. I mean, Jeff deals with a dispatcher. Now, this dispatcher, who I'm not even going to name, didn't even know, did she, about who got those fines?
Yeah, no.
She's got a clue. And I've always said these people should be ex-truck drivers because they know the roads, they know what it's like, they know that it takes 4 hours to get through Seattle, and they're not going to...
Yes, but I'm an extra, soon-to-be ex-driver, and I just want to run far, far away.
Knowing what to do with it. Absolutely. And I don't blame you. So anyway, let's go back to Tara, because you were telling us about the field and the trees and what you're going to be doing and the expected doing. Do you want to unpack that a little bit and tell us a bit more?
Yeah, so after our meeting, I will be able to give a lot clearer framework for what we're doing, but the basis is still that this orchard that we have managed to win in the auction and protect with all the help from everyone, is our intention is to keep it as a quiet, peaceful nature haven. So it's not going to have constant people walking through it all the time, because then it will no longer be a safe home for wildlife, but that we will be regenerating the orchard and finding ways that people can come and take part in regeneration, conservation in the orchard, and growing heritage apple varieties. So we really look forward to all the people that would like to come and get involved in it to contact us, because it really can be something that can bring together the community, different parts of the community, and we can help to continue on Wilf's legacy. There was something that I felt very passionately about, and several of us felt very passionately about at the auction, and that was Wilf's apprentice, Trevor, who was as close to a son to Wilf as anyone. He worked with Wilf from when he was a child and worked as Wilf's helper all his life. And really, I think if anybody had should have inherited from Wilf, and several of us really feel that he should have inherited something. And he was at the auction and he was bidding on land, and he lost, he got outbid. We were all very sad about this, because he was really the person that was continuing on the work that he'd been doing with Wilf, and Wilf would be doing all his life. And so I think it would be wonderful with the energy and support that we've got, that we can in some way help and support him.
Get involved in the field.
Yeah, well, definitely in this orchard, because he has he has bullocks that will graze in this orchard at different times. But I feel honestly they need rotating on different fields and fields. And I'm not exactly sure what help he needs, but we're trying to work out exactly how we can support him. And it might well be that we put up some kind of campaign to try and get support for him, because he was so important to Wilf, and Wilf was so important to him. And to see he's a strong man, and to see his pain when Wilf died was really incredibly humbling and touching and sad to see. And I feel like it is important that he's supported in some way throughout all of this.
I know a lot of people have asked me, why didn't Wilf leave a will? And nobody knows the answer to that, because, I mean, it would have solved everything, wouldn't it? I mean, he could have left some to his apprentice, some to the town. Yeah, it's a strange one, that. We'll never know.
I've not met anybody that knows the answer to that. Most people that I hear from him, most people seem to come up with that he just didn't expect to be going quite so soon. And I guess that's how a lot of us feel.
I've not written one. I should do.
Yeah, so
Mind you, I haven't got hundreds of acres of land.
and you have children as well, which is a different matter. Where Wilf didn't have children, and none of us know. So what we can do is see what he brought to the community and try and keep that alive, because he wasn't able to pass it on to us. So I really feel and hope that we'll be able to hold true to Wilf's legacy and what Wilf passed on to us. Me as a small child playing in them orchards, seeing the wildlife that was able to have a home there, seeing the traditions that he kept alive here in Glastonbury, and that idea of holding on to the old traditions. I feel it would be really important for us to keep that going.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff, I see Laura asked you a question earlier on about your boss.
She said, will you miss your truck cab, Jeff? No, I will not. No. My RV is much more comfortable. The seats are more comfortable. No.
You'll miss it with Mrs. Freezer.
No. We have one more show that I'll do from the truck, and then I'll be home. Let's see.
Sweet the Cat's
Sweet
coming
the
to
Cat
town.
says, coming to Glastonbury on Saturday, going to the Indian restaurant on High Street. Mom says it's good.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Look me up while you're in town. Do look me up while you're in town. Come and say hi. We'll have a coffee or something. Send me a message. GlastonburyGabriel@gmail.com. Do that thing. And Laura's been to that Indian, haven't you, Laura? So I think.
She chimed in. She said the Indian restaurant is fantastic. Have you ate there, Tara? I
think I've eaten there when I was a child. I've spent a lot of time in India, and I find I don't go to restaurants very much, actually, to be honest. But my mum did go there quite recently, and she said she had the prawn puri, and she loved it.
It is good. It is good. Incidentally, I know Tara's mum. Many years ago, I was responsible. Glastonbury Festival has areas like it has like the jazz field, and it has like all the different fields. And one of the fields is a stone circle field. And Tara's mum was the head of that field. She was in charge of that field, and I was her driver. And we only worked this out the other day, didn't we? That I was actually driving your mum around when she was working the festival that year.
Yeah, I didn't realise until my brother said, "Oh, I know Gabriel. He picked me up when my mum was co-coordinating the Sacred Space Field at the top of Glastonbury Festival."
And it transpired your brother as well.
Yeah. Actually, my mum is a big part of me being able to do this. The amount of support she's given me, the inspiration. We worked together on a conservation project for many years, and she even put forward money towards this project, and just all the way along over this last year, her support has been massive.
Hello, Jeff's fallen on the floor. Hi.
Yeah, my phone has decided it's gonna act up.
Absolutely. Any more comments there, Jeff?
You actually drove someone around and you didn't sideswipe a Range Rover? What day was this?
Yeah. No, I can't think what I was driving at the time. But I wouldn't do that job now because I don't like Glastonbury Festival. I don't like what it's become, and I'll probably get shot down for saying it because Michael Eavis walks on water in Glastonbury, and I'm not impressed. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
So tell me, Tara, have you gone out in the middle of the apple orchard and just sat?
I've only actually properly been in the orchard twice, once with a BBC reporter and once with a photographer, and still there's the part of me that's the 6-year-old kid that got chased out of it by Wilf. But no, I think once it's been all officially moved over and we can go, okay, we've we've got this. At that point, I think will be the moment where I can just sit out there and have a moment there. But at the moment, I look out over it every day, and just to see the mists rising up over it and the different changes of light and color, and the apples are also red and glossy on the trees. And I do look out and I go, wow, we've done that. We've protected that. It's going to keep being beautiful like that for a long time, I hope. And
I mean, that excitement and jubilation you saw from all of us on that video was genuine. That wasn't put on. That was what?
What kind of apples are they?
They're cider apples. So even as a 6-year-old, I wouldn't have got much joy if I'd eaten them anyway. Really, they're not apples for scrumping, but I didn't know that because they're incredibly beautiful, bright red apples, and I think they're like a famous variety for really, really good cider.
Okay, here's a question. Because we're going to replant the orchard, are you going to plant that with eating apples or more cider making apples? Well, I mean, do you kind of respect the past and that's what they were used for? Because most farmers grew apples and made cider in the barn somewhere, scrumpy, or are you going to say make it useful for the people who are there who can actually eat the apples? Where are you going to go with that? Not thought of that yet.
I can't speak for the whole group, so all I can say is from as far as I have gathered from communications and from my personal feelings on the matter, I believe that we'll probably replant a few heritage cider varieties for and we'll possibly, they can go when they're growing, because it takes quite a few years for them to grow apples. They can go towards making local cider, but we'll also grow local fruit and nuts and varieties that can be used by the community in other ways.
Because you've got 2.2 acres and plenty of room to do it in, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how fast, when you start putting trees in, how fast something can fill up. But there's also a place for a certain amount of biodiversity for wildflowers, for the insects, and some bushes and shrubs around to help for diversity and help for as buffer from diseases and things. I think it would be nice to be part of protecting some of the local cider apple varieties, but also other eating apple varieties and maybe pears or plums or different fruit. I think personally I would see that as a positive thing. The idea is that they'll be planted in memory of special moments in people's lives, and all of that we'll work out how we go about that. But we felt that probably rather than somebody sponsoring a specific tree, it would probably be sponsoring the growth and the management and looking after the trees as a whole, because otherwise, if a tree that had been planted in commemoration of a particularly important life event, if that died, or if that had a problem, or if it had been accidentally put in the wrong place and needed moving, it could be quite upsetting for people. So we'll work out all the practicalities of it, but it's planting trees and plants in sort of as a way of continuing on a celebration of special moments in people's lives, and using heritage varieties, but maybe not specific one name to one tree.
Excellent. Jeff, do you want to have a look at the comments and then I'll come back and do some parish notices?
Not much going on in the comments, but we do need to remind everybody that next week Andrew Norris will be doing the show for vacationing station.
He's getting around all over the bloody place. He's getting ideas above his station. He's never at home anymore, is he? I don't know. But yeah, I would like to say that last week, while Bernie was off gadding around in York, Andrew Murphy stepped in to do the show. And I'm here to tell you, I thought he did a very, very, very good job of it. Andrew, if you're listening, nice one, buddy. If ever we need someone, we'll ask you to step in because it was very well done. And you kept it rolling on quite nicely, didn't you, Jeff?
Tried really hard. Yes, it worked out very well. And the next show will be Andrew Norris. If Andrew would be so kind as to chime in and tell us which channel, it's probably Andrew Norris 1, I would imagine.
I think it'd be Andrew Norris 1, yeah. I'm going on my travels again. It's been a while. In fact, it's been all summer because I'm a skinflint and I don't like paying summer prices. Prices are coming down again. So one journey I've had in the back of my mind for a long time is I read the book and watched the television program, Die Brücke, which was the bridge, which started off on the premise that the second longest bridge in Europe is the Øresund Bridge between Copenhagen and Sweden. And halfway across the bridge is the border between the two countries. And late at night, they find this body laying across the border in the middle of this bridge. So because it's on different jurisdictions, the Swedish send their detective over and the Danes send their guy over. And when they've done the investigation, say, okay, you better move them now. They come along to pick it up, and one picks the feet up, and one picks the head up to put it on the stretcher, and it's in two parts, cut right across where the border is. So that's the start of the story, and I read that and I thought, oh, I'd like to go there. Plus, I like Viking stuff.
Yeah, we can see the blood marks on the bridge.
Yeah, looking for the bloody spot. I like Vikings. I mean, I wear a sword hammer. I just like Vikings. And going to Denmark, the home of the Danes, is going to be kind of interesting. I want to do that. And Copenhagen. Everybody tells me how wonderful Copenhagen is, and Malmo. And you've got the Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen. So I'm being very skinflinty again, and I'm actually traveling overnight on as much as I can, so I don't have to buy a room. So that's coming up last week in October. There'll be footage from that coming out, which I'll be using. I have said this to several people. I'm starting a second channel. This channel remains Glastonbury focused. It's all about Glastonbury, and it's hopefully involving Glastonbury people. My second channel is going to be my travel vlogs, things like going to Malmo. I've got Budapest, I've got Venice, I've got loads of films and nowhere to put them. So I'm starting this new channel, and that will be the first film on it. So that's that. Jeff, you're going to be retired in 23 days, aren't you?
I am, and I'm going to be taking a train ride home, which I'm really looking forward to. I just redid my tablet. I just hit the refresh. There's all kinds of stuff. My tablet had to have been locked up. Let's see. Ed Hasseltine says, Sweep, you must take the Indian over the road and sit at the Beckett's garden to eat it.
That's
Just find the corner in the back. It's beautiful.
That's what I was going to say. Yes. The Beckett's, I'll come back to that.
Emma says, what happened with all the chickens and the huge egg delivery?
I'm not sure what had happened to the chickens. I know the chicken barns sold in the auction, that piece of land where all the chickens were. I would imagine, I think there are a couple of cousins in Glastonbury area, or maybe it was Trevor who was part of helping sort out that. Trevor's definitely been part of helping work things out because it was him who worked so closely with Wilf.
He knew more than anybody else, didn't he?
Yeah, he knew how it all worked.
Laura says, I never met Wilf, but it's really lovely to see the joy of the community spirit following his passing. I look forward to hearing more about the orchard in the future.
Oh, you will. We'll be all over it on this channel. We'll be all over it.
Please be involved.
Yes, and people will be able to come along and get physically involved at some point soon, won't they? Want to know what you're doing.
if people want to physically get involved, whether that's on the land or with events that we do. There's been suggestions of maybe there will be talks and workshops, sort of educating and continuing on with some of the things, that old traditions that Wilf was part of doing through his life. Maybe there can be activities or talks that can be part of helping people to understand more about that.
Just go back to Sweep the Cat. When you come to town, Sweep, you've got the Indian restaurant. Right opposite, on the other side of the road, is this big old pub called the Beckett's. Now, the Beckett's is wonderful. Jeff will tell you, he's got a soft spot for the landlady. It's incredible. And the Indian restaurant was taken over by a new owner who's a fairly strict Muslim, so he got rid of the drinks license. There we go. Look, Jeff even has the T-shirt. Look, to prove it. Look at that. Hey, wicked. Anyway, so basically, they don't have a drinks license. However, the Beckett's have stopped doing food. So what you do is you go across to the Indian and you order it as a takeaway, and you tell them you're in the Beckett's. You then go back to the Beckett's and sit in the garden or sit in one of the rooms, and they will run, a little Indian man will run across the road with your dinner and hand it to you. The Beckett's will then give you knives and forks, plates, a table, everything you need to sit down so you can have a drink with it, and it's just a lovely thing to do. And
they've got a garden, haven't they?
And the Beckett's is incredible. The Beckett's is the pub version of what your field's going to be. It's a proper community pub. Everything they do is community focused, and it's just a brilliant pub. Jeff, you're going to say something?
Allison says, did Gabriel get my email about coming on the show so everyone can see my guinea pigs?
I didn't know, but tell me more. Yes, when do you want to come on? Next show, 2 weeks. Come on.
Laura says, oh, the guinea pigs. I'm coming to Glastonbury for the show. Put me on speed dial.
I like guinea pigs. I used to have guinea pigs. But yes, drop me an email, or my number is the one that's on the screen. Not that one. Yes, you can ring me on that one. 07447 whatever it says.
58862.
Yeah, give me a call, send me a message, whatever, let me know. And also, Sweet, when you come to Glastonbury, do not go away without having at least said hello and having a coffee. At least, got to do that.
Tracy Murphy says, I was so proud of Andrew.
Yes, he did a good job. I was very impressed. And he kept it bubbling along quite nicely. And he did what I can't do. And he did what Bernie does. And he kept up to date with the comments. In fact, I think he did it probably better than Bernie does. He was all over the comments. Really well done. I can't do it. My eyesight's not good enough. I have to put glasses on to keep doing it. It's not easy. But no, he did a good job. We're getting towards 9 o'clock. Oh, where's the time gone? So by the time we're down to the next show, it's in 14 days' time. So Jeff will be 12 days away from retirement next time we come on. Won't he? Yes. And then
it'll be the last show that I do in the thing, and then the next show I'll be home.
And the next show you'll be home, and in fact we might get you to run the show because I'm going to be in Copenhagen that week. So I have done a live show from my phone before, but it might be that Jeff maybe could run the show from his RV because he hasn't got to worry about going back to work. And I can be a guest on the show because we have the technology to do all these things. But yes, that's going to come soon. Now, we are going to see more of Tara. They're having a meeting around about the 8th. And once that's happened, they're going to know an awful lot more. There'll be loads of things to talk about. There'll be specific roles that you want people to maybe volunteer for by then. Things that will need doing. You'll have a plan of action. You'll have a roadmap, if you like, of where you're going to go forward. So all to play for. Jeff.
We have a major catastrophe. Station Master says, sorry for the caps, but I will be doing my own broadcast next week. Andrew Norris will be on the 22nd.
Okay. So that's the 22nd for Andrew Norris. We've got Bernie himself gracing us next week back on the show. Excellent. Lovely to see.
we were trying to kill off the station master.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't need that. We'll have Adrian instead. All done. And Laura's been in the comments tonight. We will be having Laura coming back on at some point soon to talk to everybody. And Laura is going to be coming to visit here in Glastonbury soon. And she is, and I've said this before, a superb nail technician. You will not find a better nail technician than my daughter Laura. And I'm not saying that to blow smoke up her ass, because she's my daughter. If you want, I can send you photographic proof of her work. It's superb. So she will.
You want to see her work? I'll show you her work.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on. Look at this. This is a watch face that my daughter painted.
Wow.
Look at that. She is absolutely. She can put the little blue sparkles on there. She is so talented as an artist and as a nail worker. So when she's in town, she'll have her stuff with her. So if anybody in Glastonbury fancies an appointment with a top flight nail technician, then get in touch, because next time Laura comes up, I'll let you know. But yeah, she's good. If I was a woman.
Jackie is saying good night. So I guess we need to think about wrapping this up. But thank you, Tara, for being here. And it's absolutely amazing what you've done for the community and saving Wilf's farm.
It is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me here. And I apologize to anybody who maybe we've been a bit slow in answering their messages or anything recently. Basically, we're just catching up with a large amount of messages and a large amount of work that we've got to do for this next period of time. But we'll get through there, and we really want this to be something that lots of people can be involved in. So anybody that really wants to be involved, please get in contact with us. At the moment, especially while we don't own the land, it's not open for the public to walk across it. But we will be when it moves over into ownership to the Friends of St. Edmund's Well, we will be doing different things that people can get involved and come onto the land and help us with planting, regeneration. And I'm really optimistic that this can be a great thing that people can join in on.
Absolutely.
When it's open to the public, you need to promise everybody you won't chase them with a stick.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to be open continuously, because it does need to be protected as a wildlife haven. So there is going to be the not constant access like Wilf had, but that's what kept it as a wildlife haven. But there will be different events and different things where people in a quiet, gentle way can come and be on the land and take part in things. And this
has never had chemicals on it, has it? Ever?
Never had chemicals on it. It's hardly ever had people on it. It's really been protected, and we need to protect that legacy that Wilf left. So it's there are other places in town that are like the Chalice Well Gardens, are places where people can, or the White Spring, the Tor, where people can access all the time, every day. And this won't be that, but this will be a place where anybody who wants to come and get involved can contact us and take part in it.
But Asseltine says you could have a stick chasing day as a money raiser.
Yeah.
What you all got to do, get a big stick and chase Tara around the field and pay £15 for the privilege.
I'm sorry, man. But that's
get off my land.
Or we can have stick waving competitions to see who's the champion stick waver.
Well, listen, I'd like to say thank you to Tara and the team. I mean, Serena, one of the people on the team, the last time I saw her, she was off to email everybody who'd been involved. So that's the sort of backroom work that goes on, unheard of, unseen. So thank you to everybody who made it possible and for doing that for the town. Thank you again to Jeff for being here and being a wonderful guy and keeping everybody going in the comments. Sweep the cat. Don't forget to get in touch for this weekend when you're around. And I think that's it. Is there anything I've forgotten? If there is, now shout now, forever hold your pieces.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you. And although I've been the face on some of these shows or newspapers, the team is so big, and it's I like to say thank you to everyone I've been able to work with as well, and it's incredible.
Excellent. Station Master says if anyone is still interested, my social club outing will be at the Science Museum entrance next Thursday at 12 noon. All are welcome.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. The Science Museum, and of course, don't forget when you get in there, there's a lovely watch department now. There was an exhibition that was held somewhere else, wasn't it? I can't remember who had it. One of the watch people, and now it's been moved to the Science Museum. So they haven't got much in the way of pocket watches, but they've got lots of clocks and interesting timepieces. So don't miss that one. Well, we're going to say goodbye now. I'm going to go and cook. I haven't eaten yet today. I'm going to make another coffee. Did I press it? Yes, I did.
Sarah, thank you for coming in. It was wonderful. And thank you for all the good work you do.
Yes.
Lovely
and we'll see you again after your meeting.
Friends of St. Edmund's Well on Facebook.
Excellent. Excellent. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, bye-bye. Woo. It always takes ages to finish. Come on, finish and stop.